It's Saturday the 30th of October, Halloween tomorrow. I've just zeroed out Victoria's 80 double dose and made it a light green, because as they keep vaccinating today, they're probably going to reach that 80% mark. They're at 79.7%. So definitely be 80% today. But I think they're already open. I think they opened up on Friday, yesterday, last night. So I get the impression that things are being rushed in time for Christmas shopping, in time for the Melbourne Cup. Just generally being over it. Just tired of people not complying and going to each other's houses, like for the the football match that was held in Perth, and it might as well have been held in Melbourne, because they still all went in each other's houses and had a major spread event. So they were sort of on their way down until that happened, and now they're up in the 1,000 over like 1,400 cases a day. But it's not going into hospitalizations at the moment. It's they say the hospitalizations are stable, but you have to wait a couple of weeks to get the cases today. Take a couple of weeks to get into the hospital. And also, everybody that's been vaccinated fairly recently with one dose, mind you, this is a double dose vaccination, so they already had their dose and they're at 90%, so I guess it's okay. WA are getting close to 80% first dose. I think that Northern Territory shot up today in their second doses, and I'd have to do the comparisons to see, but I think they shot up. They have vaccine mandates, so whether it's getting closer to that vaccine mandate date by the end of this month, and they have to all be vaccinated by then with the first dose, it could be that. Because I was thinking that WA will eventually overtake Northern Territory and push them to the bottom. But that might take a little bit longer than I first thought. But they're only 0.5 away from being 63, double dose WA. But now Northern Territory are only 0.2 away from Queensland, who overtook them yesterday. So I don't think there's anything else. So we're just looking at about a little bit over a week, and then everyone except Northern Territory will be double vaccinated, and most people will be 80% first dose. So the international travel is opening up on the Monday, so that's too soon for them, but they have restrictions and they're still kind of closed, even though they're going to let those Australian nationals into their state. It'll be under certain circumstances, like you have to have quarantined in New South Wales where you came in, or you'll have to quarantine at home when you get in, those kinds of things. So it's not like, you can come straight back. The places that are still in the 60s double dose, they still have restrictions in place. I mean, they're not even at 70% where it's no more lockdowns. So it's fair enough. You know, their vaccination rates are not high enough to let people in. And they're still showing up that return travellers are ending up being COVID positive. So even though they supposedly get a test, they could have got infected just before they got tested, so it doesn't show up that they actually now have the virus and it's just not come out yet. So we do have a couple of overseas travellers that end up with COVID. And we can't afford to have even one person not quarantined coming in from another country who end up being COVID positive. And plus New South Wales, Victoria and ACT still have cases. So, and Victoria is on the high risk rate at the moment. And New South Wales opening up to Victoria makes them higher risk in association. So anyone who opens up to Victoria right now, and even Victoria, New South Wales and the ACT are going to open up to international travellers, well not international travellers, but Australian nationals coming back. They're going to be considered as overseas travellers anyway, because of that risk of being exposed to each other. Another thing that I've brought in, I found this site where there's this, because I was thinking, okay, now on Monday we're going to be allowed to go out of the country, so where can we go? So these countries are the most vaccinated countries in the world. Purple is the in the hundreds, yellow is in the 80s, and orangey brown is in the 70s, high 70s. And this map shows you a colour code of the dark green means there's no quarantine, you can just go there without quarantining. The light green is you will have to be tested, but no quarantine. And the yellow is quarantine, and red is like don't go there. So yeah, this is a really good site. I've put the link up so that you can go check for yourself where you can go. Just trying to find it. So it's called Wago or Wegio. So blogwegio.com. I've put the link up. It's really good. You can say where are you coming from, and then it'll show you where you can go, and there's even further details if you want to travel to a country. It tells you what their restrictions are, what their rules are, and all that. It's so complicated that when I tried to read about Indonesia, my head exploded. And like they have a massive list of places that are under like green, yellow, and all that. And I just thought, oh no, this is too hard. This is too much information. I'm not being paid for this. So yeah, I just left it at that. And then this CNN site that I found, which lists, because that's like, where are we at in the world? How are we doing in the world? And this CNN health site lists the top countries and their vaccination status. So, and I just included our states and where they fit in the world. So Tasmania are 58th, New Zealand are 49th, Victoria are 59th. Oh, sorry, Germany is 59th, Victoria 60th. New South Wales are 23rd, and ACT are 14th. So those are the top vaccinated countries. And and Australia as a whole nation is at 52 position, but will rapidly rise up into the top 20 countries vaccinated, I should imagine. Of course, they're all still getting vaccinated, so some of them might be doing just as quick as us. It's certainly not going to catch up to New Zealand by the look of it. But yeah, I thought that'd be interesting to put on as well. And I think that's all I have to say for now, except that the opening rules are confusing, as I thought they would be. The complaints have started. People are complaining that Queensland won't open up their borders yet. And it's like, well, it's not my fault that New South Wales decided to open when we're still at 70... Where are we at? 75, 76% vaccination rate? Not at 80%. And anyway, we're not at 80%. And apart from anything else, where is it? We're at 76.8% vaccinated national average. And my average makes us actually at 73.6%. So I don't consider that 80% vaccinated. So I think that's fair enough. And besides, they're at 60%, which is nowhere near 80%. They're not even at 70% when they open up. So stop complaining. They're going to have serious problems if they let people in right now. Let them get up to 80%. So that's my whinge. That's my whinge. It's like, you know, let's be sensible about this. You know, let's open up each state as they're closer to 80%, as close as possible. Let's be sensible. You know, people's lives are at stake, and you still have to close businesses down. Yeah, that's the other thing. They were supposed to stagger opening the schools. The new Premier of New South Wales decided to ignore the health advice, which I already thought wasn't cautious enough. And now schools are having to close again when they only just opened, and that is why you stagger the schools. So he knew better than the health advice and decided to open all the schools up all at once. And yeah, so that's what happens when you don't follow health advice. Although everything else seems to have been overcautious. I mean, it's, you know, you get data as it comes in and you have to adjust. They go for the cautious. You have your cautious and less cautious. And I don't think he was even going for the least cautious opening. I think he just went, no, we're opening now. We need revenue. There won't be that many people get sick and dying, so it's fine. So I think that's what the decisions that some of these people are making. It's like your life is not as important as making money for the country, and that's the decisions that they're making. So the cautious ones are prioritizing people's lives, and the economy suffers as well because, you know, you have to close things, you have to put caps on things, you have to wear masks. So sometimes it is better to just lock it down and wait until you're at a safer vaccination rate so that people don't have to shut down when they get cases. And that's the Matt McGowan model. That's what he's doing. He's not partially opening and all that. He's saying, let's wait until we get up to a better vaccination rate and then open up, and then we don't have to close anything down because most people are vaccinated. But yeah, he'll cop it for sure. So I think that's it.